Hi, I'm Carmen and welcome back. I'm at Operation Food Search in the Bear Healthy Community Kitchen for today's episode of Cooking with Carmen. So as part of our mission to heal hunger, Operation Food Search teaches families how to cook delicious food on a budget. Thank you for joining for episode 10. I have a guest on the show with me today. Her name's Judy Koyman. She's the Director of Community Relations here at Operation Food Search. Judy has been part of the development team for nearly 8 years, and she works with businesses, schools, and organizations across our region with food and fun drives, as well as service learning and community education about food insecurity. Before working at Operation Food Search, Judy volunteered with the Nutrition Education Team in our community cooking classes. She loved it so much that when the opportunity to work full-time at Operation Food Search came about, she was eager to join the organization. We're so grateful to have her on the development team, and I'm excited to have her on the show today. Welcome, Judy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have you on the show. So I have a couple questions we're going to start with. So first, you volunteered with our nutrition education team for 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to share with our viewers why you believe that the 6-week nutrition-focused culinary course has such a positive impact on the participants.
I loved it so much, obviously, since I came to work here. But I really saw firsthand the holistic way that these courses and the knowledge and the skills, the life skills that were taught with a recipe and without a recipe, and it really just built all of their skills to make the most of their budgets in a healthy, easy, delicious way. They're really good try-it classes, and that was what I thought was the most important thing, even for me. A way to substitute things that were high fat, high salt, high sugar, to use herbs that you've never really used before, or to use a combination of ingredients that you'd never really think of before. And I love that. I just thought it was really interesting. I saw little kids just get so enthusiastic. And I just remember one little boy who I adored, who would just fly around the room saying, "Who knew? I love zucchini." He was so cute. And I made a point of talking a lot with the adults at the end of the courses, just to say, after 6 weeks, what did this really do for you? And what I heard over and over and over again, and I volunteered for over 20 courses, was that so many people felt that the courses, it went beyond the life skills and the knowledge. It gave them a feeling of peace and connection with their family during some really difficult times, like what we're going through right now, all of us. The knowledge that they gained and the skills that they gained helped them regain a bit of control in their lives and connection with their families when they felt that other parts of their lives were just really spinning out of control. And you just can't beat that.
No, you really can't.
Yeah, I loved it.
So how did the volunteering with the nutrition education team impact your own life?
I was a really seasoned cook. I started cooking as a little girl with my mom and my grandmas. I am a home cook, but I learned so much more volunteering in these classes. It really changed the way I shop for my family and the way that I cook for my family. I find that I didn't use as much expensive protein. I substituted in a lot of beans. I put in so much more vegetables and fresh herbs and used spices I never really used before. So I was learning along with all of the participants too. And one recipe that really stood out to me is the one that we're doing today. When I first saw it and saw it being prepared, I was like, I don't know about this. It isn't like the tuna salad with mayonnaise and pickle relish that I do. This is kind of weird. I don't know. But again, it's like a try-it class. You have to try it. And I loved it. And we make it all the time now.
Awesome. So normally this is where I pass it over to you, but you can see I'm in the kitchen here because somebody broke their wrist.
Yep.
So before I start preparing this, what is it about this recipe that made it really stand out to you?
I really love, well, this is the perfect time of year because we're in the dog days of August, or not August, near August, but the dog days of summer right now. It's so hot and it's really cool and refreshing and you don't have to cook. And yet it packs a lot of protein so you feel full. And what I really love about it is that you can freestyle. You can tailor the ingredients to what you have on hand, whatever canned goods you have on hand, like canned chicken, canned salmon, albacore tuna. You can add fresh herbs. You can just make it the way that your family likes it and the way you like it. It's a really versatile recipe.
Awesome. I love a versatile recipe, so we're going to go ahead and get cooking. So first, I like to gather my ingredients. So today we have a lemon, we have some green onions, we have a can of tuna, we have a whole can of white beans, and I've drained and rinsed them. We have oil, we have mustard, salt, and pepper, and it's super simple and easy. So we'll go ahead and get started. So first, I will start with zesting our lemon. So we're going to use both the zest and the lemon juice itself in this recipe, and it'll kind of add a lot of nice fresh flavor to this, because you know that fish and lemon tend to go very well together, but a lemon can be used in a lot of recipes. So to zest a lemon, we're actually going to use like the small holes on a box grater, but you can also use a microplane if you have a microplane, or use a vegetable peeler and just peel off the skin of the lemon itself and then finely mince it with your knife. But I find that using the box grater, because a lot of people have a box grater at home, the little tiny holes on the side work just nicely. So we want to make sure to scrape off the rind of the lemon, but not get too far down into the white part, because the white part is the pith and it's a little bitter, and we don't want that strong bitter flavor. So we really want the bright, fresh flavor of the lemon rind itself. So what's nice is that there's some oils in the lemon rind, which add a lot of bright scent to your food. So that's using one of your senses, is when you're smelling your food, before you eat it, you kind of have that bright, fresh scent from it. So what's nice about the rind is it's not as strong of a flavor as the juice itself, but it adds a lot of those delicious aromas to it. So we're gonna have our zest here, and then we're gonna cut our lemon in half, and we're gonna add the juice of the lemon to this recipe as well. So I'm just going to cut it in half here. All right, we have our zest. And next we're going to slice up our green onion. So I'm just gonna cut off the root ends of the onion and discard those. And then we're just going to thinly slice our onion. So I like to keep the tip of the knife down on the cutting board and just thinly slice the onion. What's nice about a green onion is it adds a lot of bright color to this dish. And green onions are a milder form of onion instead of like a red onion or a yellow onion. It kind of adds like almost like an herby but light onion flavor. So it's a nice addition. I use green onions a lot to garnish food, because it adds a nice fresh color to the plate and fresh flavors. All right, so now we have our onion thinly sliced, and next we drain our tuna, which I've done already. So I've opened it up and drained out the liquid, and same with the beans. I opened it, drained it, and rinsed it. Rinsing helps to remove some of that extra sodium from the outside of the beans. And then we're just going to take a fork and we're going to mash our beans. So I like to mash them against the side of the bowl, to really get them nicely mashed. And as Judy mentioned, this recipe does not contain any mayonnaise. So the mashing of the beans kind of helps to provide some of that creaminess, helps the tuna salad stick together, but it's not adding a ton of fat or calories. And actually using the beans is adding a lot of nutrients and protein and fiber into our recipe here. So it's a form of shelf-stable protein, and it's packing tons of fiber into this recipe. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Judy says when she makes it at home, she tends to mash it till it's pretty smooth. So then there isn't like a little texture of the beans in the recipe. But again, this is up to you. So if you like to see the beans in the recipe, or you don't, mash it to your liking. And this could be a great way to get kids involved in the kitchen too, because really all you need is a fork and a bowl. And they can mash away at this while you're chopping the onion or zesting the lemon. So everybody's kind of making the recipe together. All right, so I'm not going to mash it completely smooth. I'm going to leave some of the beans whole. But you can see that it has gotten a little creamy in here, and some of the beans are nicely mashed. So then all we do is dump in our other ingredients. So it's a whole can of tuna. I'm going to use my spoon to get it out. Dump in our canned tuna here. And then we have a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. You can also use yellow mustard, or like that, the grainy mustard works well. In here has a nice kind of texture. A tablespoon of oil, so you can use canola oil or olive oil. I'm using olive oil today because that's what we have. and then seasoning it with some salt and pepper. So the recipe calls just for 1/4 teaspoon of both. And then I'm going to mix that up a little. And I use my spoon and I kind of mash while I'm mixing. So you can mash any of the large chunks of tuna, like if you get the canned, the chunky tuna in the can. And then you kind of stir it up. And then we're going to add in our green onions here. Adds a lot of nice bright green color to this, otherwise very tan dish. And then we're going to get in our lemon zest here. Again, adds a lot of nice smells. It smells delicious in here already just from the lemon zest alone. And then I'm going to squeeze in the lemon into this little cup here just so I can remove any of the seeds. And you can add as much lemon as you like. The recipe really calls for just 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, but I like lemon. I think it adds a lot of great flavor to our dish here. Lemon can really be added to a lot of dishes that you might not think of. It's like a lot of creamy or heavy pastas. Adding a little lemon juice really brightens the dish and kind of removes some of that heaviness that you originally associate with like a creamy pasta. You can also add lemon to roasted chicken. I love adding like the zest of a lemon into a chicken marinade. Salad dressings, and even creamy desserts like cheesecake and custard. Lemon juice and the citrus or the rind from the lemon, the zest adds a really nice pop of color. All right, so this is our tuna salad. It came together so quickly. And as Judy mentioned, it's super versatile. So to add even more color and flavor, you can add in some fresh herbs in here, like parsley, oregano, or thyme. Or if you like a little more crunch as well, you can add in finely chopped bell pepper or celery. And that would add some extra nutrients into it. You can even use canned salmon, so super versatile. And Judy, you recommended that we serve this on cucumber rounds, which I have here today. So what other ways do you kind of serve this at home?
You can make a traditional sandwich with whole grain bread and some lettuce and tomato if you want, or on pita or naan, or even just on little whole grain crackers, which is great for kids. Crackers, and who doesn't love little finger sandwiches for little kids or senior citizens or me? Who doesn't love that? But I actually made this on Saturday when it was so hot out, and I made it for lunch, and I just put it on a bed of greens with some extra cucumber and a little bit of celery and some tomatoes, and I put a little bit of fresh parsley and dill from our garden in it. And just for salad dressing, I just put some extra lemon because I love lemon too. I always think that lemon just makes your mouth sing a little bit, and you don't have to add as much salt. If you add lemon, you don't need as much salt. So that's what I had for lunch on Saturday, and I loved it. It was great. But look at how cute this is, and I've even made it for appetizers for a fancy party.
I can walk around with a little appetizer tray.
I know. It's like, have some tuna salad, and people are just like, tuna salad? But they loved it. It was all gone. So
this is my first time making it too. So thank you for opening my eyes to this recipe because it looks delicious. I know I'm going to be eating some lunch today.
Yeah.
So I know that at the beginning of the show today, I kind of introduced you as the Director of Community Relations, and we talked about how one of your roles is organizing the food and fun drives. So this recipe uses 2 forms of shelf-stable protein, which is the canned tuna and the canned beans. So since our food drives are all about collecting shelf-stable items, can you kind of share some information with our viewers on like the most needed items?
Exactly. So you can see right here, wrong way, our most needed food requests for donations. And we do about 1,500 food drives and fun drives across the year at Operation Food Search. And it's about $1 million worth of food that we get. And so we are very picky and very bossy about the food that comes in. Rather than just cleaning out a pantry, what we really, really want to do is to build the nutrition and family meals. So these are meal makers that we ask for, and the most important things are what we use today, protein. That's the highest need we have with all of our community food partners across the region that we talk to. And so that includes like salmon and chicken, pouches of tuna, things like that, beans, diced tomatoes are really important, all kinds of things that you would have in your pantry to help put a quick meal together, especially to complement all the fresh produce that we have in meat and cheese and dairy that Operation Food Search has out for food insecure families as well. And so it's really, really important to us that we have high nutrition, things that aren't expensive, but yet they really boost families being able to put meals together.
Yeah, so I love how a lot of these items really can help the families make a meal. Can you kind of share why we work so hard to emphasize family meals at Operation Food Search?
We do. Everything we do at Operation Food Search points towards the family dinner table. And when I started working here 8 years ago, I started doing some research on just why is it important to have family meals. And I was floored that family meals are really like a little miracle in the home. The American Psychiatrists Association and the American Pediatrics Association, every single year since the end of World War II, 75 years, have done more and more in-depth studies with families on how important the family dinner table is. And so what we have learned over all of these years is that families who share even just 5 meals together, and this could be not only families who are, in the nuclear family, it could be a group of young people living together. It could be just a group of roommates. It's the people that you interact with on a daily basis. If you share meals together, everyone connects and everyone thrives. And it sounds so simple, but the science is there. And so for families who cook meals together, share a meal, clean up together, it's something that so many of us take for granted, but especially for food insecure families, this is again a moment where peace comes into their family for all of us. And so one of the things that we found over the years is that families who share meals together, even just that 5 meals a week, everyone starts thriving, everyone becomes more resilient, families connect more, little kids have better vocabulary, they learn problem solving better and family traditions, everyone does better. And it becomes, especially in these times right now, not only families becoming more resilient, but that translates to our region becoming more resilient. And so the family dinner table is so much more than just the food we eat. It's family connection and family kindness and family fellowship. And it's the very best thing that we can foster as a hunger relief organization.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. So do you have any final thoughts to share with our viewers?
We do. We have so much. This Saturday is our annual event, Shop Out Hunger, and it's been going on for decades, and it's a food drive across our whole bi-state region, all the Schnucks stores, all of the Straub stores. We have Midtown Market in St. Charles. We have Price Chopper in the city of St. Louis. It's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. this coming Saturday, July 25th. And we will have volunteers stationed at every entrance and exit, and you'll be getting a little flyer if you're shopping at a Schnucks or a Straub store that will ask for these most needed items. And we're hoping that you could donate an item or 2 or 5 to these volunteers. And all of this food collected this coming Saturday, and it's usually well over 150,000 pounds of food that comes in. It goes directly and immediately to families and kids and seniors to build these family meals. And so we're hoping that all of you can help us out there and shop on Saturday, especially with the need as urgent as it is with the pandemic and the economic crisis. The need has skyrocketed, and we hope everyone can help each other. Let's help our neighbors.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today, Judy. I had a blast talking with you.
Me too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I hope everyone enjoyed today's show. Remember to like our page if you haven't already, and comment below if you made today's recipe or have any questions. Visit our website to learn more about our work. And as Judy mentioned, this coming Saturday is our big Shop Out Hunger event. So we hope to see you on Saturday between 10 and 2 at local Schnucks and Straub stores around the St. Louis area. And I'll see you back here in 2 weeks for our next episode. Stay safe and happy Wednesday. Enjoy some salad.